Cancelled.
Schweezy.
Yeah, so let's get on to Previous Week Right Now. Previous Week Right Now is the weekly news that I find important. However, what most people do is they find articles on whatever social media site they get their news from, and they just read the titles. However, I'm not like that. We find the titles, and we actually read the articles. And today, I'm actually going to try to sound like a news reporter when I read these. So let me get ready for this. I know people don't like me when I burp directly into the mic, which I kind of understand when I do it. So I'm going to try a little something different when I need to burp. And I know you're like, just don't burp. I'm like, when you're talking too much, you can't just like stop. Hold on, I got to hold it in. Like when you're not talking, you have to burp. You can just hold it in. But like when you're talking, you got to get that shit out there. That's the only way you can get it fast out there. So let me go ahead and get into the news. I'm going to sound like a newscaster. Dun 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 dun, ba-dum bum ba-dum, bow. All right, Church got in on GameStop and Tesla stock craze, security filing show, ABC4. As it turns out, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints seems to be one of those groups with diamond hands taking GameStop and Tesla stock to the moon earlier this year. Recently, security filing show the Church's investment branch eSign Peak Advisors purchased a large quantity of GameStop shares, 46,000 to be exact, near the end of 2020. At the time of that purchase, the stake was valued at under $1 million or $867,000. Following the short squeeze of the video game retailer's stock, which was catapulted by a movement on a Reddit forum called Wall Street Bets in the first quarter of 2021, the value of that purchase has skyrocketed. eSign Peak reported that those 46,000 shares were worth $8,732,000 at the end of the first quarter of 2021, meaning that the hedge fund made a profit of over 900% on its investment at the time. The price of GameStop stock has fluctuated this week, but if eSign Peak is maintaining diamond hands and holding those shares, the stake would be worth $7,727,540 as of market opening time on Thursday. ABC4 reached out to eSign Peak to inquire if the fund planned to hold onto its GameStop holdings, but calls were not immediately returned. The GameStop stock phenomenon took U.S. culture by storm in January 2021 when the Reddit community coordinated to facilitate a short squeeze on the company's value on the stock market, raising the embattled video game retailer stock by over 1,500%. GameStop stock began the month with a value of $17.25 and reached an all-time high of $483 on January 28th, with no reasoning other than the rallied support of internet bros, social media, and the ease of stock trading on platforms such as Robinhood. Expressions coined on Reddit such as diamond hands, which identified GameStop shareholders unwilling to sell their shares despite the market volatility, to the moon, expressing excitement at the share's astronomical increase in value, became commonplace on social media and in American vernacular due to the craze. Tesla CEO and founder Elon Musk, who is also said to have raised and lower other markets such as Dogecoin cryptocurrency, with his remarks on Twitter, was in on the mania. He sent a simple tweet, GameStonk, a play on a popular meme after GameStop stock hit $200 on January 26. Interestingly, Ensign Peak also cashed in on Tesla stock, growing its holding of Musk's company to stake value of $433 million, according to the same regulatory filings. Not fillings, it's filings. The church came under fire in December 2019 when David Nielsen, a former employee of Ensign Peak Advisors, revealed evidence the hedge fund had ballooned to a value of $100 billion and alleged the church had misused that money, which was gathered by tithing funds and intended for charitable purposes, according to Nielsen's allegations. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints responded to Nielsen's with the following statement: "We take seriously the responsibility to care for the tithes and donations received from members. The vast majority of these funds are used immediately to meet the needs of the growing church, including more meeting houses, temples, education, humanitarian work, and missionary efforts throughout the world. Over many years, a portion is methodically safeguarded through wise financial management and the building of a prudent reserve for the future. This is a sound doctrinal and financial principle taught by the Savior in the parable of the talents and led by the church and its members. All church funds exist for no other reason than to support the church's divinely appointed mission." The statement given on December 18, 2019 continued, Claims being currently circulated are based on a narrow perspective and limited information. The church complies with all applicable law governing our donations, investment, taxes, and reserves. We continue to welcome the opportunity to work with officials to address questions they may have. ABC4 has reached out to the church for comments on the GameStop stock filings. We will update this article if requested for comments are returned. So, big surprise here, everyone. A cult is trying to get rich and trying to make a lot of money, folks. And I'm so surprised that a church only cares about money. Dude, the Mormons, I think, are really stingy.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
They're really stingy with their money because I think they literally require you to be like a member of the Mormon Church. Like, you're required to be like, it might be wrong, but it's like 10%. It could be 15. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's 10% of like your income. And basically, if they think that you're not giving your like the right amount of money, they'll like investigate you to see. And I guess I don't know if tax funds can't be public if you don't want them to be public, but typically it's not like a thing you want to hide. Unless you want to be a member of the Mormon Church, then you don't want to give away all your money. I feel like there is a way, because there's a lot of good churches out there, you know, and their whole purpose is not to be like a get-rich-quick scheme and shit like that. There's a lot of great churches out there. The one my parents go to, they just do an offering in the back, where it's just like, yeah, we're going to donate to this missionary this week, so it's in the back, donate if you want to, no pressure. But they sometimes have to give the sermons on the old, why Jesus wants you to give money. You know what Jesus would like you to give money? You know what he'll feel?
I like that.
He'll really like that if you give your money to the church, because that's what Jesus wants you to do. And sometimes, like with smaller churches, it's like, I think we're having some financial problems and we need you to do that. They could just be open like that, but like, yeah, it is what it is. The one I went to in college, they did a cool thing. The preacher there was an ass. At least my senior year there, he was kind of an asshole, and he's a kind of a bitch too. If you want to talk about that guy, but they did a thing where it's like, here's donations to us, and then here's another donation thing, and that's for actually helping out the community, which is really cool. So it was like, so if you wanted to be, fuck this place, I'm going to help the community. Or you could be like, fuck the community, I just want to financially support this place, which is a great way to be like, fuck the community. That's the way I like to live.
I like that.
So
this is the type of guy you get.
So yeah, that's funny. I went to one in Nashville for about a year, and that one treated offerings like a religious practice. I knew it was off pretty early. It's like, Lord bless this. They had like someone, you know, they had like communion meditation type shit. They would have a offering meditation type shit. It was weird, and that made me uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm not giving money to this place. Fuck this. Still went though. I think I played guitar for them. Yeah, I played guitar for them, and with that, I was like, yeah, I'm giving you free music service. I'm not gonna fucking pay you. But no, and then like, yeah, and then eventually that spiraled out of control, and people found out like the pastor was making like 6 figures a year. It's like, oh, I'm living in like a lot of people were like, oh, I'm living in poverty, but you need to make 6 figures a year and want me to give you my money? Okay. So that didn't escalate too. So if a church is very, very much like treats offering like a religious practice, they're only in it for the money, folks. That's all it is for glory and money. That's just how it is. So yeah, so that's all I have to say here. Don't give money to churches. That's just, you can go to church. If I'll say this, believe whatever you want. Go to church if you want. I don't give a shit. But just don't give your money to them. I would just, if you feel like you want to help someone financially, do that privately. Don't give it to someone else to do for you. That's very much stupid.
That's rough, buddy.
That's all I can really say in regards to that. I'm going to move on to our next article, so this doesn't become a bum everyone out episode.
Simp.
So let's get into this one. This one is pretty funny. I want to make sure that everyone Before I go into this, I want to make sure that everyone is well prepared for what I'm about to say. So, are you sitting down, standing up? Just get ready for a shock. All right, 3, 2, 1. From Geo News, Kevin Spacey to make acting return with film about accused pedophiles. So, let's just get into it from Geo News. Disgraced Hollywood star Kevin Spacey will soon be making his return to acting since he was first embroiled in the sexual assault scandal in 2017. The House of Cards actor, who is currently facing a number of allegations of sexual harassment, is all set to share screens with Vanessa Redgrave by playing a detective, as per a report by The Telegraph. His character named Duomo Che Disegno Dio will be investigating claims of pedophilia against a blind artist. The story of the film doesn't seem all that different from Spacey's own reality as well. He was accused of making sexual advances at actor Anthony Rapp in 1980s when the accuser was only 14 years old. Soon after the Star Trek Discovery actor's claims, other accusers also stepped forth with their own accounts of getting sexually harassed by Spacey, who has denied all allegations.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I want to know. I didn't know people were still hiring him. That's the one thing I want to know with these people, because I know, was it Chris D'Elia is back doing his podcast? I don't know if he's back on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter. It's just kind of Nazis on Twitter. But I know he's back doing his podcast, and I know he lost like his agent and all a bunch of shit. Does Kevin Spacey still have agents, or he's just calling these places, hey, I'd like to be in your film? At the same time, and maybe the director's like, you know who we need, who would perfectly play the role of someone, a detective looking for pedophiles, an actual pedophile. That's who we'd like to do. And let us not forget when this all went down, the first reaction from Kevin Spacey. I think this is a good time to mention that I'm gay. I'm like, I think we're well past that, buddy.
This is the type of guy you get.
Yeah, we figured that out. Maybe, I don't know. I want to see how well this movie does. I'm interested in the topic. I don't support Kevin Spacey. He's just a weird guy. I think that's all we can really say in regards to him. He is a weird guy, and typically, if you did something bad, 10 plus years ago, you could apologize for it, and I think there's an idea. I'm like, maybe we can forgive you. Just like the adult diapers, it depends. But that's all we can really do. He doesn't really. That's the thing, though. It's like him and Bill Cosby. Like, they don't seem sorry for what they did. Louis C.K. I feel like he feels sorry for what he did. Chris D'Elia, I think, probably feels sorry for what he did. I don't know. That's a weird thing with him. So, we're gonna have to keep moving on from here, I guess, and figure out what the hell's going on with everyone. So that's all I can say with Kevin Spacey. But maybe if you're underage, keep some Spacey away from Kevin. The laugh track is the best decision I made in a while. Let's just move forward. Let's see. Yep, we only got 2 more articles here, folks. Controversial Marilyn Monroe statue shows tourists taking pics up statue skirt. KXAN. Next star as well. A 26-foot statue of Marilyn Monroe modeled after one of her most famous scenes from the 7-Year Itch is appropriately, what did it take me that long to say appropriately? Appropriately coming back to Palm Springs after a 7-year absence, but plenty of people in Palm Springs are a little too hot and bothered by the idea. Forever Marilyn, the official name of the statue by American artist Seward Johnson, depicts Monroe in a white halter-neck dress, the skirt of which is permanently suspended in the air as if by the breeze of a subway train passing underneath, la the 7-Year Itch. The statue had previously been displayed in downtown Palm Springs between 2012 through 2014 before being relocated to exhibitions in other parts of the country and even Australia. Now, the towering Forever Marilyn Forever Marilyn is coming back to Palm Springs thanks to the efforts of a local hospitality group with plans to position her closer to the Palm Springs Art Museum, her rear end facing the entrance. Placing a hypersexualized misogynist statue of Marilyn at the entrance to the elegant Palm Springs Art Museum sends a message to the community, its visitors, especially young, innocent children and tourists, and that this somehow represents the real Marilyn, reads a Change.org petition urging the Palm Springs City Council to find more appropriate ways to honor Monroe's legacy. The organizers of the petition, which already has over 40,000 supporters online, further alleged that Monroe herself would not have appreciated the statue, having fought to become more than just a sex symbol during her Hollywood career. It's blatantly sexist, and Elizabeth Armstrong, a spokesperson for the Change.org petition, in a statement obtained by NPR, it forces people almost to upskirt, she said, referring to the concept of sneaking a glimpse or taking a photo from underneath a person's skirt. PS Resorts, the hospitality group that licensed the statue, instead feels that there is perhaps no better location for this work than Palm Springs and will result in a tourism boom that will ultimately benefit the local economy. Marilyn Monroe loved Palm Springs, and the exhibit of Forever Marilyn is a true homecoming, PS Resorts writes on its website. Aftab Data, the chairman of PS Resorts, added the statue's presence in Palm Springs will do nothing but benefit the city, according to a statement obtained by NPR. The statue would also be placed on a section of Museum Road between Museum Drive and Belardo Road, which data says is more than 100 yards from the entrance to the museum, according to TMZ. At the moment, plans to install the 24,000-pound statue are still moving ahead, having been approved by the Palm Springs City Council in November 2020. During that meeting, however, a councilman acknowledged that the statue was kitschy and would be preferable in other parts of the city, but the idea won approval partially on the grounds that it could be a powerful tool for tourism. The statue will now likely stand on Museum Way for 3 years. The Palm Springs City Council did note that the city may need an out in case the statue causes traffic or otherwise becomes a problem within those 3 years. As a result, they decided on the need to include a termination clause in the agreement as discussed in their November 12th meeting. Data in response to concerns over the statue's effect on local businesses and tourism claims he is currently planning to conduct an independent study, which he later intends to present to the city, NPR reported. This isn't the first time Forever Marilyn has ruffled a few feathers either. In 2018, the statue was displayed in Connecticut with its behind facing a church, but Reverend Dr. Todd Grant Yonkman, the pastor of the church, merely questioned why the artist would depict her in such a pose. Maybe the city would let us give her some pants, Yonkman joked to the Associated Press at the time. Well, folks, let's think here for a moment. Can we, this isn't porn, right? It's like an upskirt thing. It's not made. It wasn't sculpted to be a sexual thing. It's a price. It's like a depiction of Marilyn Monroe. It's a classic. So obviously, when you do something like that, you're obviously gonna be like, oh look, people are gonna take upskirt pictures of it, because it's a 26 foot. It said 26 foot, right? I want to say, yeah, it was 26 foot. It's a 26 foot statue. Now, the reason why a normal person would do that is because it's a statue. If you do it to a real woman, that's bad. We're against that. We are against that shit. What is this? White people. I think that's a white people thing. But yeah, I never use that sound drop. I need to change it. Yeah, it's kind of like that. And it's like another thing I always think, like, you're not a sex worker if you just take nude photos. That's modeling. And there's nothing wrong with taking nude photos. In fact, I encourage it. I encourage everyone to take nude photos. If you're a man, do not send them to me. That's all I ask. And if you do, I am going to censor the dirty parts and make fun of you on my show. So that's a threat. I
identify as a fucking threat.
So you know what the fuck is going on. Also, yeah, it's not sex. It's not sex because you know why? It's not sex. You can say it's sexual. And then like Marilyn Monroe didn't want to be a sex symbol. That's a weird concept. Like when I'm like, I can wear whatever I want, it's fine. And then like other women are like, oh, don't cover her up. That's because men will sexualize you. I'm like, can we agree on something? Like this is what we need to do. I don't know. Because I'm not a woman. I can't make the decision. It's also the decision how like drag queens somehow aren't offensive to trans women. Like, first of all, like I'm not getting in that fight because I have no stake in it for some reason. But like, shouldn't it be offensive to trans women? Like, it's like men dressing up like women and then like goofing around, dicking around. Dicking around may not be the best word.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Anyways, though, people need to fucking calm their tits. And if it upsets you, this Marilyn Monroe upskirt statue offends you, you need to get fucking laid. That's all we can really say in regards to that, because it sounds like you haven't had sex in a long time, and it's time to get your vagina licked, or your bean flicked, or your penis touched, or
Simp.
just don't be a simp. All right, so that's all I'm going to say on that. Let's move on to our final article. This one is very interested. From Hypebeast, Tinder launches new Are You Sure feature to prevent inappropriate pickup lines. Tinder is launching a new messaging feature called Are You Sure, aimed at preventing harassment on the dating app. The industry-first safety feature offers a real-time warning to users to think twice about their opening line. Are You Sure uses AI to detect harmful language and proactively intervenes to warn the sender their message may be offensive, asking them to pause before hitting send, the company said in a press release. The AI was built based on what members have reported in the past, and it will continue to evolve and improve over time. The app cited recent statistics from the Pew Research Center indicating that in 2020, roughly 40% of Americans experienced some sort of online harassment. 40% of Americans experience some from online harassment. Yeah, just if you want to try to be famous on the internet, that's what's going to fucking happen. Tinder says that early testings, Are You Sure, reduced inappropriate language in messaging by more than 10%. Additionally, users who saw the Are You Sure prompt were less likely to be reported for inappropriate messages over the next month, a promising sign that the feature may have long-term effects on changing toxic dating behavior. Last year, the company introduced a slate of new safety features in select markets, including Does This Bother You?, which prompts users to report inappropriate messages they may have received from a potential match. Words are just as powerful as actions, and today we're taking an even stronger stand that harassment has no place on Tinder, said Tracy Breeden, head of safety and social advocacy for Match Group. Are You Sure is the latest safety feature introduced by Tinder in recent months. In March, Match Group, the parent company of Tinder that also owns several other popular dating services, announced that it was partnering with nonprofit groups Garbo to make background check technology available to users across its network, starting with Tinder. So I mean, obviously, fellas, to the men out there, we're going to talk about the straight people. This is only for the straight people right now. The gays and the leses, maybe and the bis are included in there, but it's not. The bis could be different sex too. Okay, trans are in this group, so I'll appreciate your gender. So the transes are included, but the bis and the leses, or the leses and the gays, are not going to be included in this message. So for the I'll go with the fellas first. We'll go with this statement. Your opening line shouldn't be sexual harassment. If that works, I've been doing dating wrong, apparently, that if your opening line is just sexual harassment, apparently I don't know how to date, because I usually try to be funny, because that's the few things I have going for me. When I say a few things going for me, I say a lot of good things going for me. It's just, it's a few to me, but a lot to the normal unschwoke person.
I like that.
So, or no, more importantly,
This is the type of guy you get.
so with that being said, I don't sexually harass women. It's just a policy of mine to not sexually harass women in general. So maybe this is going to be helpful to the R words out there. R words being Republicans, to let them know that, hey, sexually harassing a woman is not cool. Can't believe it's 2021 and we're having to have this discussion. But you should know that that is the case. Also, another thing we need to say, I want to say to the women, I guess if it's words, you shouldn't have to deal with it, but don't get, like, your panties too much in a bunch. Just be like, fuck you, and then leave. It's online, so if it's real life, just pepper spray them. That's that shit. But anyways, so that's just a lesson I feel like we all need to learn, that if your opening line is to sexually harass a woman on a dating site, either A, you're doing it wrong, or B, I'm doing it wrong, because apparently that's what works. So maybe I have played myself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And that's all I really have to say about this. There, Schwokelord, you just finished a full clip from the show. I hope you liked it, and I hope your brain cells don't hurt. If you want to check out more, we got more links here. We got full episodes, more clips, and the best of everything. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe, and like this video if you enjoyed it.